clapper.
Hey, don't lean back too far, you fool. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, poofties, bung-eyed heifers, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks and chuckettes, stinky dogs, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom.
And you know who you are?
Yeah, to another version of It's News to Us. Oh my God, the shadow lights out. You are watching It's News to Us. Thanks, Philo. Our bevy of engineers out back.
Oh yeah, I got my train hat on too.
Crack team.
Oh, team of crack.
Yeah.
Crack addicts.
It's News to Us. We're Newport's oldest TV news. Watch us new. And we got adult themes in adult language, so you're advised. That's right. Adults go to bed, let the kids watch, they know more than you. And beware the Bronze Age invisible sky god. He lives in the clouds up near the space station. And we're all inclusive here. We cater to men, women, women, men, men, women, everybody. All y'all welcome. And we're brought to you by Bingo for Christ. That's right. It's part of the Go Forth and Gamble Casino Jesus. We can't fill the pews, so we fill the basement with gamblers. And let's have a cheer for peace and prosperity, not wars and austerity, but you know, hey, trillions whizzed away, just whizzed away. And oh, it's that thing from the 60s. That's what that is, Philo.
Yeah, the old TV.
It's a short. It's a stop-action short from the 60s. Go figure. Anyways,
well, that just shows you how old we are.
Yeah. I think this won an Oscar for something, best short of the year or some damn thing.
Was that Khrushchev's head?
Yes, sir.
Holy cow, boy, am I old.
Nikita Khrushchev. He was Ukrainian too. And little did we know, but last Wednesday, as we were taping this show, some nutbag wacko, oh, damn it, I left it in the car. Damn it.
Tell us about it anyway.
I have a picture of me at 19 years old, standing next to my sports car, holding a replica of a Thompson submachine gun, 45 caliber, semi-automatic, with a 30-shot clip. And at 19, I had a job, a couple girlfriends, my own apartment. I mean, it's like, what the hell happened to this country? No, instead we got some nutbag who's taking psycho meds, grabs a AR-15 and shoots the place up. But you know what? It's part of karma. I think, we don't see the reason we stopped the war in Vietnam is because we saw it every night on the news. Remember, Philo, night in, night out.
Yes, and they lied about the kill tactics, the kill numbers too, remember?
Yeah, yeah, body counts, yep.
Yeah, and Schwarzkopf told us about that during the Desert Storm. He said, I was told to fudge the numbers, to make it look like we were killing more of them than they were of us.
Oh, the whole thing's a lie.
Of course
it's a lie.
Was. Gulf of Tonkin and everything.
Yeah, and but anyways, the chickens are coming home to roost. What do you think's going to happen? You think we can just go around the world and blow people up and, we don't see it. Have anybody seen pictures of Raqqa or Mosul or any of these other cities that we bombed to dust and smithereens where the bodies lie stinking in the rubble? Oh no, as long as we have our cheap gas and, whatever, we're fine with that.
If you remember when Bush was president, he did not want the cameras showing the bodies coming home and the coffins. He didn't want that.
That was just the damn caskets.
Yeah, just the caskets, right.
And that what they had to do is they had to embed the press in with the troops. So what the hell is that all about? That means you only get to see what they show you.
Zachary.
Anyways, we got some queers in the news, or actually trannies. It's official.
Christine.
It's official, Philo, as of today. The jerk who's running Vermont Electric Co-op is going to step down and run for governor. Well, thank God. It's a good thing because, maybe we'll get some forward-thinking person who wants to upgrade the grid and do something with VEC in there. Tranny Dave, that's right. The CEO of an energy company wants to become the first transgender governor in American history. Hey, it's a guy in a dress, okay? It's a guy in a dress. It's that simple. And CEO Christine Hallquist is formally entering the race. Vermonters are due to vote for a governor as Governor Ingen Phil is up for re-election. Hallquist said she plans to leave her post at the utility company, the second largest in Vermont. And they've got, you know, I went online, Philo, and it's not the crappy transformers that are buzzing and making the noise. It's not that hard even. It's cheaper. It's just the fact that they're like loose. The wires are loose. All they would have to do is go around with bucket trucks, listen to their AM radios, and listen to the buzzing from the transformers, get up in the bucket and tighten stuff down. 90% of that's what it is. That's what makes the transformers buzz.
The transvestites are buzzing?
Yeah, the transvestites are buzzing. This
must be Dee Snider.
Yeah. And you notice when you go up to Shaw's, or if you go near the dentist office on West Main Street on the way out of town, you can see where they've actually changed the street lights to LEDs. But, you know, do we do that everywhere? Are we doing a major swap out for the VEC area, the coverage area? Oh, hell no. We've got old friggin', the white ones are high pressure sodium, the yellow ones are metal halide or vice versa, and they're using 250, 400 watts, you know, at an insane cost. I mean, in the village of North Troy, we pay something stupid like 20, 30 grand a year just for street lights, Philo.
Yeah, I think I like LSD lights better.
Yeah, I like the LSD lights. There they are, right behind me. And they're up at Shaw's parking lot. I mean, we should be swapping them out. They use about as much juice as a friggin', you know, 100-watt bulb, if that. But you know, Tranny Dave, no, he won't fix the transformers. He won't upgrade it. He won't let us have solar panels on our roof because he says that's unfair to the rest of the customers that have to pay for the grid. That's the lamest excuse in the book. And then he lied to us when we interviewed him about the reason that they didn't put the windmills in Lowell up on the old asbestos mine, a super fun site. He said, oh, there's no electricity coming and going. I drove down there, and there's a right-of-way where they got three-phase coming in from the north and from the south with a giant right-of-way with these poles that went to the rock crushing plant. So that's a lie. And then the asbestos mountain is a full 1,500 feet taller. There's nobody in that view shed west of Montgomery. It's just one giant swamp between between Lowell and Eden down there. It's one giant swamp all the way to southern Montgomery. Nobody would complain about it. But see, here's the thing. His buddy Trip Wileman in Lowell wouldn't make any money if they put the wind towers up on the asbestos mine, Philo.
Aha, I knew it.
Yeah, my old buddy Trip. Sure.
He must be tripping on the LSD lights.
Yeah, he was tripping, exactly. Christine said last month that she was thinking about seeking the nomination. The 61-year-old was born Dave Hallquist and moved to Vermont at 20 to take a position with IBM. Now, part of that must be a lie, because remember he told us he worked for Digital Equipment Company, remember?
I don't, but we have proof of it. I mean, we have the disc somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, well, I got to check the archives. He told me he worked for DEC down in Westminster.
That's the nice thing about having a hard copy of something.
And I remember asking about it because, see, boys and girls, when I'm the same age as he is, and when I worked at the old mill, I had a black supervisor who used to play drums with Little Richard, go figure. His name was Maurice Oliver.
Yeah.
Great guy. And anyways, they had these giant conference rooms where these people from DEC would come down and they would have conferences, and they had open bars, Philo, and free food. You know what that means, don't you?
You get drunk and you eat a lot.
That means get drunk, eat a lot, and puke all over the place. And who do you think they tried to get to clean up the puke, Philo?
You?
Yeah. You know what I told them, don't you? I said, you send me up there to clean up their puke, you're going to have two pukes. Because if I get next to it, I'm going to see their puke, I'm going to smell it, and I'm going to wind up puking, and then you're going to have two pukes, and I'm going to go home sick because I don't need this crap. Get old Billy, the retarded guy, to do it. That guy was nuts, man. I used to go around putting in ice coffins and stuff with the guy, setting up banquet rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
And when a waitress would walk by or bend over, you know what he'd say?
What's that?
He'd look at me and wink, and he'd say, just like having your picture taken.
Well, I suppose it depends on the smile you're looking at.
Yeah, brown eyes are blinking at you. Anyways, and speaking of queers, here we are. You know, it's funny, but it's not funny, okay? Because, see, it's tough being a teenager, it's tough being a young person, but when you've got issues about your own sexuality, it just compounds the stuff. Well, it looks like our Gipper, he's gay, so he says. He came out of the closet. What he was doing in there, I don't know.
I wouldn't go in there.
Yeah, don't go in there.
No, no, oh, no.
So he comes out of the closet, and it looks like he had issues, Philo.
Issues, probably. I know the issues he had, too.
Yeah.
Probably Playgirl.
It's been a journey for him to get there. After Sochi, Gipper got caught up in a whirlwind that followed any medalist. After it died down, he wondered what the point of it all was. Remember that old cartoon with Oblio? You didn't know what the point was? He was wandering around looking for the point. It was, the music was written by that guy that hung out with John Lennon there. What the heck was his name? Not Cat Stevens. Anyways. So anyways, he was looking for the point. What's the point? He drank, but that was more of a symptom of what he felt. He considered suicide as well. Of course, alcohol's a depressant. And, you know, we don't have to tell you over and over on this show that this stuff makes you violent and suicidal, just like the damn SSRI drugs do for 20% of the people.
Well, any drug that can make you paranoid and, you know, all that can't be all bad, can it?
Yeah.
Depressed and suicidal, what more could you ask from a drug?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
really, all in one combination.
Depressed and suicidal. What's not to like? Kipper's parents got him into a recovery facility where he spent 60 days. It changed his life and gave him the tools and perspective to get to a better place. He puts his pants on just like everybody else. That's who Nick is, said Chris Kipper, his father. He puts his pants on like everybody else.
I don't want to see those pants. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I don't want to see him taking his pants off or putting them on. No, thanks.
No, ain't gonna do it.
ain't gonna do it. And Nick is not unusual. If you read Michael Phelps, there's 1,000 kids out there like Michael Phelps, 1,000 kids out there like Nick. It's just that they don't get the notoriety. Phelps was a medalist who had struggled with depression after he retired in 2016. It's healing for him to talk about it. Whatever. Okay, it's tough being a kid.
Well, the whole thing of it is when you're an Olympic athlete like that, and you do it for as long as he's done it, and you can't do it because your body won't let you, you have to ask yourself, what am I going to do next? And you have to come up with something, or you'll, you know, of course you'll get depressed.
Take your money, go back to school maybe?
Good idea. I know guys at the shop that had worked there for 30, 40 years. They retired and they were dead in a year because they didn't know what to do with themselves.
Oh, man.
Really?
Well, I retired at like 45, and I knew exactly what to do with myself.
Yeah.
I have more work to do when I was retired than I did when I was working. Anyways, oh, they sentenced another one in the Pissy Tent tranny killer. And that's right, they killed this tranny. I guess it was an ex-woman. It was a woman turned into a man. And, you know, that's okay. We have no problem with you being whatever you want to be. It's a free country, right? But you know what? This tranny hung out with a bunch of homeless bums. And what did the bums do, Philo? They drink, right?
Yeah, and they get violent.
And they drank, they got violent, and they whizzed in cans and stuff, and then they took the cans of whiz and dumped it on some other bum's tent. So the other bums come back, they're all liquored up, and they beat up the tranny, and it wound up dying. He, she, it, whatever. A third person accused of murder and the beating death of a man at a Burlington homeless camp admitted a lesser charge, sentence to prison. Amber Dennis pled guilty Thursday, aggravated assault, and he's getting 7 years and 3 months to 15 in prison. So that means, well, I'm thinking what? She'll probably be out with time served maybe in a month. Do you think, Philo?
Well, I know that you can commit murder and get 7.5 years.
Yeah.
No names mentioned here. No names mentioned.
Yeah, oh yeah. Typical. Typical. Oh, and they got a guy in Westfield.
Yeah?
Reptiles seized from Vermont home, and they're illegal reptiles, and this guy's name is Barlow, and I'm thinking, where have I heard that name before? And then it dawned on me, Philo, this is the same joker who is supposed to be our constable in the village.
Wow.
I don't think the guy could even spell constable like the constable in Troy. How is that spelled? CONSTA-BULL? Anyways.
Constable.
Yeah, unstable.
Yeah, unstable is more like it, but you know, you get the gist here.
Oh, and here's Lindsey Vaughn didn't do so hot, but Michaela Schifrin is. Michaela Schifrin got the what? Silver or bronze today? Yesterday?
The girl from Italy got the gold.
Yeah.
And the girl from, I think it was the Netherlands?
Or Czechoslovakia, that girl who never skied, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, she just came right out of the chute and flipped everybody out.
Yeah, she only lost by 0.09 seconds.
Yeah, that's insane. But it's okay to be white. That's right. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You know, I'm sick of this stuff. And we're all getting sick of it, as a matter of fact.
Well, you know, if you can ski down that hill faster, you can ski down that hill faster.
Yeah.
And we don't care what color you are.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, these boneheads over at UVM, they're pushing and pushing and pushing. And now they want the head of UVM to retire. It's a white privilege, you know? Oh, sure it is. Yeah, Philo, you and I have had white privilege, right? I mean, every time we've walked up to a job, they just look at us and say, hey, you're white, man, come on in, right?
Yep.
Oh, sure. It's insane. Here it is right here. Signs defending white privilege appear on local college campuses. It's like, and then they keep pushing this Black Lives Matter thing. Look it, no lives matter, okay? You never see any rich people in jail. It don't matter if you're black, white, or whatever. If you can't afford a friggin' attorney or if you got no money, the cops are gonna shoot you. Look at all the unarmed people that have been shot in the state in the past, what, 4 years, Philo? Has any one of them been a person of color? No. What's the thing they all had in common? They were all white and poor. Yeah, sure. They are hurtful and exclusionary messages. They found about 20 signs that beseeched men of the West who do not give in to hate and embrace white identity. They told the people not to give in to hate and embrace white identity. What's wrong with that? You should be proud of whatever you are. If you're proud to be black, be proud to be black. If you're proud to be gay, be proud to be gay. It's no big deal. But oh no, man. Oh no, you can't say that. You're a supremacist. They got a bias response team, and they better support the students of color after racially loaded graffiti appeared in December 2 years ago, or a year ago, December.
Wasn't that an album by Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, I stand corrected.
It's an attack on our physical presence on the campus. It was only a matter of time before they showed up on this campus. But here it is. Oh, jeez Louise. The students believe the Black Lives Matter is a sign of equality. Well, I don't know. Some people in the police department, when they had the Black Lives Matter marches saying, what do we want? Pigs in a blanket? What do we want now? What do we want? Dead cops? I mean, you know, there's something about that might have been taken the wrong way. What do I know? Here it is. Excuse me. They're redoing Porgy and Bess out in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Philo.
Yeah, hold on a second. They gotta toggle this thing. There you go.
Thanks. And they're saying that the cops and the justice, it's a black thing. Well, no, it isn't. It's a poor thing. Again, you never see any rich pricks jailed, ever. This just kills me, this whole narrative.
I think, they said one of the reasons George W. had no trouble signing off on all of those executions in Texas is because it wasn't anybody he knew, wasn't any of his friends.
Oh, you think?
They didn't have a face.
Or their kids.
Nobody he knew.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget when he started mocking and making fun of Carla Faye Tucker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? Nice going, George. Nice going.
The 1930s work criticized for cultural appropriation by its white creators, but also praised for possessing an activist spirit and affirming humanity. He adds that the opera's themes about mistreatment by law enforcement and the justice system stubbornly remain part of the black experience. No, it remains part of the poor experience, and now we all be slaves on the global plantation. You idiots. Don't you get it? It's a free country. We're all free to live under a damn bridge is what it is. And here it is, speaking of which. And this is from today's paper. They've got the whiny pissabeds out there. They're in front of the president's office at UVM with a megaphone. Thanks, Philo. And they even drug out Eboni Nioni, whoever this woman is. And she won't give her real name, Philo, or where she comes from, because, I'm thinking she's probably got a record from New York City somewhere. And you know what? Screw your demands. And you're going to know what you're going to get? You're going to get dick squat. What gives you the right to demand anything? You're supposed to go to college to learn, you zipperheads. This is one step towards equality. He saw the difference between racing an All Lives Matter versus a Black Lives Matter. It's like going to the doctor with a broken arm and the doctor says all bones matter. Well, they do, but the one you broke happens to be your arm. And it isn't just black people that get broken arms. What the hell is this supposed to mean? And, Potent Joe back in the news. Here he is. This one's from last week. Potent Joe, he's impotent no mo. That's right, old Potent Joe. He cost the school district $300,000. He stink bombed the Howard Center. He faked a confession on somebody else's email. He caused these lockdowns. And old Potent Joe got sentenced yesterday. He apologized. He apologized for sending threats to the South Burlington High School. Yeah, old Potent Joe.
Well, at least he got one thing right. He got the Howard Center.
Yeah, well, I'd give him a pass on stink bombing the Howard Center. They deserve it.
Yeah.
Especially
a certain Kathy Roos that I won't mention.
Yeah, Potent Joe, the silly Negro, admits guilt and avoids the po-po. That's right. Oh, and listen to this. Oh, it's just horrible. He has to participate in mental health and substance abuse counseling. He's prohibited from using a computer until he comes up with a plan. His probation officer must allow computer monitoring hardware. And he said he spent his months in prison, gave him time to think about what he had done, and inspired him to grow up and stay out of prison in the future. Oh, you think? Ugh. And, of course, the lawyer was saying, oh, he's just had a horrible, they said his upbringing and, it's just, he had a tough, he's a poor kid. What did they say? He's got his meds. Okay. He wants to continue with mental health counseling to treat depression and anxiety. Now, what is a 19-year-old kid doing on medication? Any of them, Philo?
Probably doing what they're told.
Yeah, exactly. By these idiots who don't know what they're doing. You give speed to little kids, and then you wonder why they're depressed, and then when they're teenagers, you put them on antidepressants. No, are you kidding me? When I was a kid, when Philo and I were kids, nobody 19 our age was on medication. Nobody. You didn't take medications until maybe your blood pressure went up when you started getting into your 50s and 60s. What's wrong with these people? Oh, yeah, you read the newspaper coverage. It made me understand why the community is taking this so seriously. He had a murder list, named specific people, said he was going to hurt them, and yada, yada, yada. And He's going to meet with the judge every 6 months to talk about his life and how things are going. Oh, that's great. Meet with the judge every 6 months. Huh, lovely. And yes, he wants to study graphic design, go back to school and get his GED, and eventually go to college and study graphic design and animation. Okay then. Yeah. Let's see. We want you back from prison. We want you back from the troubles we caused. We want you back in the community. Well, speak for yourself, Judge. I'll bet you don't live anywhere near his house. You know what I mean? Oh, geez. And speaking of which, Philo.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
I don't believe it.
You talk about stereotypes. They've got this new, what the hell is it? The new Black Panther movie, right? You talk about stereotypes. Look at this. They show a picture of a woman in the movie chucking a spear, Philo. I mean, chucking spears?
I know, I saw, they're hyping that movie like crazy.
Oh, of course. It's got black people in it, don't you know? And them bald-ass black women look wonderful, don't they? And here we are.
I can't wait to see the new Avengers movie.
Army strips star from general in the sexy tech scandal. Yeah, we got another grab-ass general going down, Philo. I wonder if booze was involved, you think?
No. Has to be that awful weed, you know.
Yeah, jeez Louise.
That stuff that grows in my flower garden. I can't get rid of the weeds no matter what I do.
Sent more than 1,000 messages when he was in charge of U.S. Army AFRICOM from a base in Italy. Again, ask the question, what are we doing in Africa? What the hell's wrong with us? We had that soldier killed in Niger, Tiger, whatever the hell the country is. And, oh, speaking of which, they had this documentary on RT about these black girls, black models, bleaching their skin in Dakar. God, what's the name of the country? It's not Sudan. Anyways, it's where they do the Paris to Dakar rally through the desert, whatever. But they're putting this bleach on their skin to make themselves look lighter, and it gives them cancer and makes their skin all blotchy and stuff.
You know, the rumor was that Michael Jackson was doing that too. I don't know how true that was, but they said he was using acid bleach.
Yeah. But they've had this stuff on the market for years, and it's wicked dangerous.
I would imagine, yeah.
And so they showed, you know, they were all complaining about Trump, you know, calling these countries ship hole countries. That's where the ships go through the hole, in the ship holes. Anyways, and yet I'm watching this documentary. These girls are walking through the streets of Dakar in Senegal. That's the name of the country. And they're walking through the streets. And what's in the streets, Philo? Chickens, stray cats, dogs feasting on garbage and crap. Nobody could be bothered to pick up the rubbish in the street right out in front of their house, Philo.
Okay.
Yeah. But they're not ship holes, though. No, there's no ships going through those holes.
Nope.
They're wonderful. I'd want to go there on vacation, wouldn't you?
Not even with a big hit of acid.
Yeah, and here we are. Kurdish doctors suspect Turkish gas attack in Syria. Again with the gas attacks. You know, we just found out recently, and well, you didn't see anything in our news, of course, but you can find it on the interweb and certain websites like The Intercept and places like that. You know, that gas attack, the main reason for where Trump sent in, what, 59 cruise missiles at $1 million a pop to blow up some antique Russian jet base in Syria? Because he saw some stupid pictures of some kids doing the flip-flop in a hospital. It turns out, you know what that gas attack was, Philo?
Probably some bad food.
It was, yeah. Mexican fast food.
Exactly. Go ahead, please.
It was chlorine. Duh. These people have to strip their, like we do, they add chlorine to their drinking water and they strip it on the way out to get rid of the bacteria before they dump partially treated sewage into the rivers. So it was chlorine. Yeah, it was chlorine, not chlorine gas, But oh no, you don't see that in the news. We just wasted 60 million. And then, you know, everybody, they were all concerned, Trump's a joke, Trump's this, Trump's that, he's a horrible human being, and blah, 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 blah. But after he sent those missiles, every freaking news channel on the planet was saying, well, he finally became presidential. Yep. He launched those cruise missiles, so now he's presidential. Never mind, he wasted $60 million of ours to blow up nothing.
And he also wants a military parade, like Kim Jong-il or whatever his name is.
Everybody loves a parade, Philo.
Yep.
Everybody.
Even Ike shot that idea down when they wanted to give him a Soviet-style military parade. He says, no. We don't need to waste money. Ike said that.
Yeah.
And there's a military man, and he said these parades are stupid.
Well, I think they had a couple parades after, after we blew up Japan with some nuclear bombs and finished the war off.
Yeah, but that was not Ike, though.
Yeah, no.
That was, Ike, let me see, that was 1960 or something?
Well, it was in 1945. I think they even, after we had victory in Europe in April, and then we had victory in Japan, VJ Day, in August of 45.
Oh yeah, but I think I don't know when Ike made that statement. It had to be in the 50s.
Yeah, he was elected in 52.
Maybe it was in 1960, but he didn't like the idea of these military parades.
Guess who's getting a tax cut, Philo?
Whiskey beer. Ooh.
Yep. Push the cancer hall. That's right. Not only it is addictive, but it causes violence too. But we push it. Oh, they're all getting a big tax break. All the distillers, especially the small ones, they've dropped the per proof gallon tax from $13.50 to $2.70 for the first 100,000 gallons. Lovely, huh? And here we are, because it was Valentine's Day. Yep, that's right. Have a tall, cool glass of Tumors. Doesn't that look good? Yummy. Put a little flowers on your glasses and drink it down, and then you drink the first one, you get a buzz going, and then you say, well, why not? I think I'll have another one. So you have another one, and you really get the glow on, and then, by your third one, you're hammered, and it's all like, then you don't even count how many you have anymore. You go out and drive and run over a family of 4 and kill them all. Why not?
Of course.
And it's like, look at this. Long Trail. They're putting CBD, cannabidiol, they're putting CBD in beer. Now, how about CBD and asbestos, Philo?
I don't know.
Or CBD and tobacco? Or CBD with some lead and mercury? It's CBD. It's booze. The stuff will kill you. It's what the hell? You can put, salt and pepper on a dog turd, but it's still a turd. And get this, here's 2 arrests, okay? 2 of them. And how in the thing that's running through both stories is that they found the people through their GPS on their telephones. And I've been telling you about this, boys and girls, for years and years. Ever since they busted those kids for wanting to have a graduation party at some gravel pit up here. They were listening in on the phones because, hey, the kids were on probation, a couple of them. But this is what happens. And they got heroin and crack, man, that's it. They got the black guy, he'd go into the plantation, but the white woman, I'll bet the white woman, she gets probation, he get the plantation. And we get to pay 50 grand a year to put his black butt in prison. When are we going to start treating drugs like a health problem? When our jails are filled up with every Negro from New York City? What's wrong with us? Burlington police arrested a man and a woman on suspicion of selling heroin and crack. Tracy Crawford, 54, of New York City, was selling heroin and crack locally and obtaining the drugs from Amanda Robinson of Colchester, 43. They pled not guilty, blah, blah, blah. They were arrested last Friday during a traffic stop on US 7 in Shelburne. Burlington police had been tracking his GPS position via his cell phone and a rental car he was using since authorities obtained the warrants in January. Robinson, who police believe was traveling to New York City weekly to buy drugs and sell in Vermont, that's the woman, was arrested in Albany, New York. They executed a search warrant, went back to her home. found 11 grams of heroin, 5 grams of cocaine, and a loaded handgun. Now that's what she had at her house when she was empty. They don't say what they picked her up with in the police stop. I wonder why. Probably because it's already off to the evidence room and given to somebody's confidential informant so they could ooh, like the Royalton cop did, stealing heroin from the evidence room and giving it to his girlfriend for you know what. Ooh. Yeah. So that's what she had 11 grams of junk, 5 grams of coke, and that's what she had at her house just for a backup. She pled not guilty to a felony cocaine, misdemeanor charge of possessing a narcotic, felony heroin trafficking. She was released on conditions, but guess what? He's being held on bail because he be black and she be white. But I'm thinking he's got priors and she don't. Here's another one. 2 arrests made after 200 windows shot out in Burlington. Same thing. They got them with a GPS on their phone, boys and girls. And you can't even take the batteries out the phone no more. You better get a lead box to put the damn thing in when you're driving around. They're going to find out where you are. Even that, the phone will know where you are and report it to them afterwards because it stores the information, you idiots. Oh, I need that phone though. I got to text. I don't know what I'd do without the phone. I got to see how many likes I got on Facefucks. F-U-X.
If they catch people cell phoning and driving or texting and driving, I hope they catch them all.
Jeez Louise, yeah. I mean, it's worse. It's as bad as driving drunk, Philo.
Well, yeah, they say distracted driving is just as bad. Yep.
I don't know how many times I've been behind some young person, especially because you're up here in the Northeast Kingdom. It's like the Wizard of Oz. You're among the little people now, you know. You've got these inbreds who've been going to the same church and inbreeding for years. They're about the size of horse jockeys. And you can't even see their head behind the wheel, and yet the car's doing this down the road. I'm wondering if it's even got a driver. And then you get up next to them if you go to pass, and sure enough, they're sitting there tapping away. Or using the GPS because they're too stupid to know where they are.
That's why I told my family that up here that I was glad I was born in Brooklyn because they were all related.
Yeah. I'm telling you, same thing with me. I had to go down to Boston to find a girlfriend. Everybody in Lunenburg, half the people in Lunenburg were my cousins. Not good. Let's see, GPS data. Police began after receiving a tip of the vandalism incidents. After some initial investigation to confirm his vehicle, a blue Dodge Ram truck, they applied for warrants to track the location of Bowler's phone. And then they placed another GPS on his truck. The data for 12th and the 13th of February showed that his car locations and speed coincided with it. And when they pulled him over, they found 2 9mm semi-autos, a .22 caliber revolver, 14 knives, and a hatchet. And an automatic BB gun, a Smith & Wesson 9mm, assorted weapons and tools. Okay, but they got it from the phones. Keep your phone on. Don't go anywhere without your phone. Yep, gotta do that. And
Right here.
yeah, and never leave it. Never. And here we are. Even though there's been no problems up here, we'll.
Got one too.
Oh God, no.
This one takes great pictures.
They're everywhere.
It does.
They're everywhere.
You know what, Steve? Mine is usually off.
There you go.
I don't leave mine on very often.
But they still track you with them.
Not with this one.
And then here's another one that got busted from a GPS. That's right. Thanks, Philo. This girl right here, what's her name? Amber Dennis or something like that. They got busted for bank robbery. But what happened was they didn't take the money out the bag, and the bank teller had put a GPS tracking unit in the bag with the money. Good going. Amber Fusco, excuse me. Amber Fusco and Jennifer Bassett. Let's see. There was a second robbery using a GPS tracking device that was included in the money handed them by the Wells Fargo. Okay. Oh, and you know how we told you about, what was it, 2 places up here? Maple Leaf got busted for Medicare fraud, Philo. No charges filed, right? And then that whiz testing place in Burlington, where the guy, the head, one of the head of the companies, he had worked for Ben & Jerry's, got busted for stealing 300 grand from Ben & Jerry's 15 years ago, comes back, gets this whiz testing job, they get busted for Medicare fraud. Oh, nothing happened. You know, no charges filed for that white-collar crime. See, because white lives matter. That's right. They're white, they're rich. They never see, nothing. Well, here's another one. This is in Rhode Island. And we found another one in Rhode Island, Connecticut, and yet here's another one. Got busted for whiz testing fraud. Hoy! That's right. And what was the name of the president? Let's see. Precision Testing Laboratories Incorporated, and the owner, David Fromm. Hoy! What's the matter? You had to shorten it from Fromberger or Fromberg. They agreed to make a payment of more than 400 grand as part of the settlement and forfeit nearly 657 grand and not participate in any Medicaid program for 10 years as part of the deal. But yet you could do it in Vermont and not even get busted.
What movie are you showing in the background where someone's getting crucified?
Oh, it's clips from the Viking series. It's called Athelton's Journal.
I'm so sick of hearing about crucifixions.
It's where they kind of like captured. Well, he went along willingly. They captured a guy, a monk in England, and they took him back to live amongst the Vikings, and he became like their pet Christian. But here we are. That's right. Even though there's been no problem with guns up here, that's right. Injun Phil wants to take away your guns, man. He's going to take them guns from Paleface. Ugh! That's right.
Hey, there's John Rogers in that picture.
Yeah. Can't you see him? His Adam's apple's bigger than his brain.
And there's Bobby Starr.
Yeah, Rockhead, Bobby Starr, the insurance fraud guy. Yeah, sure. Whizzed his trucking company down the drain because, hey, that's what you do. You know, you defraud the state. You say, I got workers' comp. Then you don't. Then you get busted and lose your trucking company. Good going, Senator. And what did we happen up here then? Oh, and speaking of which, the FBI puked. They had a tip. That shooter in Florida, the local cops had been to his house 39 damn times. Thanks, Philo. 39 times. The local cops. Then the FBI got a tip, and what they do? They didn't do nothing. That's right. They didn't do nothing. And what's the kid's lawyer say? Oh, he's a broken child. No, he deserves to die. You kill, you die. And here we are right here. This is from Saturday's paper, February 17th. FBI didn't act on a January tip about the shooting suspect. What, me worry? The guy looks like Alfred E. Newman, man. Hell yeah. We didn't do nothing. That's us. Didn't do nothing. Nope. Hear nothing, see nothing. That's all. And speaking of which, they lost 17 kids in that Florida shooting. How many kids have we lost to the flu this year, Philo?
I don't see the correlation, but...
Well, here's another thing. If that kid had been wearing a uniform and shot 17 people in Afghanistan, he'd be a hero, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would. But you know something? That's not here.
Yeah. But it's okay for us to visit violence and inflict pain and suffering on every other people on the planet. Yeah, wedding parties, graduations.
Bar mitzvahs.
Bar mitzvahs? I don't know about that. A self-described al-Qaeda warrior who was in a firefight in Afghanistan that left 2 U.S. GIs dead refused to attend his sentencing. Judge ordered him life in prison. District Judge Brian B. Cogan in Brooklyn, New York, sentenced Ibrahim Suleiman Adnan Harun, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and to life in the joint. He rejected Harun's claim that he was more a soldier than a terrorist, saying Harun wanted to kill dozens or maybe hundreds of Americans and others. Yeah, if he'd been wearing a uniform, he'd be a POW. If he's not wearing a uniform, he's a terrorist. Oh yeah, they fixed the robot arm on the space station. Mark Vandenhei and Japan's Norishige Kanai removed the old hand to a storage spot. It's going to be flown back to Earth. It's a Canadian-built 58-foot robot arm. Both of its aging
made with a hockey stick too.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like, actually. It's a big hockey stick, Philo. It's a 58-foot robot arm, and both of its aging mechanical hands were replaced on spacewalks in October and this January. And the veteran VA official quits over a travel scandal. And we've got an article in here from the Leech On, the magazine, that's this month's, for those of you who are keeping track and who believe in the American Leech On. Yep, they're the same people who tried to overthrow Franklin Roosevelt. And here's their motto right here. That's right, the VA, giving vets a second chance to die for their country. Downers in speed, but no weed! No, never any weed. Anyways, it seems like they had Fort McClellan, the long shadow of the Fort McClellan legacy. It was right near a Monsanto plant. Thanks, Philo. And all these people are coming back with poisons. And guess what? Just like Agent Orange, the VA is saying, oh, there's no correlation, even though Monsanto, whose plant was less than a mile or two away from the Army base, even though they settled with civilians and paid hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
700 million.
Yeah, a million. Fort McClellan was established next to Anniston, Alabama, a city known for its smelters. It trained 500,000 GIs and was a POW camp in WW2. The Chemical Corps was activated there in '51. The Chem Biological Radiated, that's NBC, Nuclear Biological Chemical, followed in '62, and the Chemical School in '79. '79, I know some GIs who were at Fort Devens who were in the the Army Security Agency, the ASA, and my buddy used to sell them LSD.
Don't forget the pigs.
Oh yeah, the pigs, the local pigs. They had to slaughter the pigs, and they were so toxic they couldn't eat them. They were so toxic they had to send the local pigs, pork or pigs, they had to send them to a hazmat facility to get rid of them. Let's see. The women were started basic training there in '52. The WACs were disbanded in the late '70s, and it served as the primary MP base. Over the years, they had an average population of 10,000 personnel and 1,500 civvies. The fort was shuttered in 1999. A portion of it turned over to the city of Anniston, blah, blah, blah. And it's right next to the Monsanto plant that made PCBs from 1929 to the '70s. There are 209 PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls. They cause cancer, suppress the immune system, disrupt the endocrine system, and like the thyroid gland. And it disrupts them. They had 60 Minutes, did a segment on it. And it's just insane. In '03, Monsanto settled a class action lawsuit with the residents of Anniston, but veterans who trained and lived nearby fort were not included in the suit. And the VA is saying that there's nothing to see here. Pigs raised by Anniston residents, the mostly poor people, were so contaminated they had to be carted off to hazardous waste landfills. And the people are like this one lady here. She's got cervical tumors, a lump in her breast. It grew to the size of a lemon in 6 months. Abdominal pain, insomnia, fatigue, Hashimoto's disease, burning sensation in her legs. It comes and goes. Muscle twitching, GI problems. And she thought she was a hypochondriac, but you know. And according to the VA, she is. And let's see. Fort McClellan webpage cites a report from the Federal Agency for Toxic Substances that people who lived outside didn't face a higher risk of cancer or any other problems. Well, of course not. That's the government. Nothing to see here. Yeah, give you a second chance to die for your country.
You know, Steve, with movies like this in your background, no one's listening to you.
Yeah.
They're watching all this violence.
It is a very violent series. But it's really good, other than the violence.
Nah, I'll pass.
And here we are. I like the shipbuilding and exploration part. That was my favorite part. And guess what? You know, how many handholders do you think the U.S. has for these SPEDs and other underachievers in the school system compared to students, Philo? What do you think the ratio is?
It's probably 2 to 1.
Well, no. Nationally, it's 8 to 1, right?
Okay.
What do you think it is in Vermont?
I bet it's half that.
Yeah. A little over half that. In Vermont, we have 4.8 to 1. The United States has 8 to 1. And we got too many hand holders for these speds, man. These speds aren't going to grow up to do anything. If you're lucky, they'll be able to sweep floors or rake leaves or something. And we're spending billions of dollars on these kids, and for what? I mean, it's nuts. And look at the graph down there. That shows how much it's gone up in the past 20 years. You know, when I moved to North Troy, the parking lot in the school, at the elementary school, was like half to three-quarters full, right? But now, since we've got so many speds, thanks to our slumlords turning Victorian houses into Section 8 apartments, we've got the parking lot is overflowing with hand holders. And the state isn't going to screw with them because, you know, it's a mandate from the federal government. Anyways, here we go.
I think it comes from all that inbreeding.
You think?
And the fact that some women, no names mentioned, but some women tend to have children when they're really, really old.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Have a kid at 45, 50. Nothing wrong with that, especially if it's your first one.
Or your fourth one.
You have one every so many years.
That's right. It's, you know, it's an income. Of course it is.
I thought Pon Far was kind of far reached, but
Yeah. I love Pon Far.
oh boy, I'm telling you, that is a wild one.
The Russians ain't coming. The Russians ain't coming. That's right. They indicted some Russians. Oh, sure. Every member of Congress takes millions of dollars from the American-Israeli Public Action Committee, AIPAC, to influence legislation after they've been elected and for their campaigns. But, oh, we're going to go after some Russians. And get this. What is a Russian troll farm? You got to be kidding me. See that? That's a troll. The trolls have been around since the mid-'60s. They started making them in Sweden or Norway, I think. And there's your trolls right there. Mueller. You know, is this all you've got? What happened to free speech in this country? And it come to find out, Philo, one of the things that they started, they had competing rallies in New York City. They had a pro-Trump rally, and then they had an anti-Trump rally. And guess who attended and hooked up people for the anti-Trump rally, Philo?
Who was that?
Michael Moore.
Oh, okay, I like him.
Yeah. I mean, so if they can dupe Michael Moore, I mean, and everybody else, who cares? I mean, I don't even know old people who are on Tweety or Face Screw or whatever it is, Screw Face. It's like, what the hell? And what about the $5 billion we spent in the Ukraine to screw with their elections and then give them weapons and stuff? Oh, I forgot about that. It's okay for us to do it, but don't you come over here, mister.
Do you remember the Jefferson Airplane album, After Bathing at Baxter's?
Oh, you betcha.
Do you remember, I can't remember what the name of the song is, but remember the sentence that says, war's good business, so send your son, but I'd rather have my country die for me?
Huh.
Now it would be send your child, because men and women go. And I said, gee, that is profound. I like that.
Yeah, well, that's United Snakes for you.
Yep.
Let's see, it's a troll farm. The troll farm sent Russians to the U.S. to set up technical infrastructure to make it look like real American accounts. It allows them to interact with servers in the U.S. And that server is doing all the social media activity. Well, most of us old folks who vote, who actually do get out and vote, and you've woken a slumbering giant, because over half people don't vote, and this time they did. They said, that's it. They didn't want to vote for Hitler. And what do we got? We got P.T. Barnum in the White House.
Yeah, you're going to lose either way.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a lose-lose.
You got the choice between the Clinton crime syndicate and the Trump family syndicate.
Yep, doesn't make any difference.
Oh, that big-haired moron piece of snot.
47% don't matter, right?
Yeah. And speaking of Romney, we've got his magic underwear right here. We know the people in Boston who used to do his laundry, and these are the moron sacred shorts, man. This is what you get, man. Honest to God. The God lives on the planet Colo, and he's got wives who each have their own planet, so they say, in the moron literature, and there's your sacred skid marks right there. But, you know, join the Church of the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and you can get your own magic underwear, too. That's right. And you can go talk to God on the planet Colo.
I like what Don Rickles said. He said, I have a direct number, 1-800-CALL-GOD.
Yeah. It's insane. I mean, these people make the Scientologists look normal.
And that's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
That's really difficult to do.
Oh, and man, speaking of which,
Yes,
do you know where the world's third worst mass shooting in history was, Philo?
I'm not sure. Probably downtown Hyde Park.
Yeah. No, it was in Johnson. You're close.
Okay.
Yeah. It was in Korea.
Okay.
The third deadliest mass shooting in world history was 1982 when a drunken South Korean policeman went on a shooting spree, leaving 56 dead before he killed himself.
You know what, Steve? He should have killed himself first and then killed the other people later.
Yeah. Save us all a lot of work, man.
Exactly.
And here we are. Trump's picks for court skew white. Well, oh my God. God knows. I mean, never mind what Martin Luther King said, that you should be judged by your character, content of your character, not the color of your skin. Oh no, all these people about is you got to have so many faces. Well, let's see. If the blacks are 15% of the population, you got to have at least 50% black people. And here we are. This peckerhead, he threatens to shoot up the school, and everybody's going nuts. And here he is right here. Only by the grace of God. Boy, we missed it, you know. He was off his meds. I only saw this in one story in the Saturday paper. He was off his medications. Again, what is a 19-year-old kid doing on medication, okay? He's off his meds. He's living in a car, and he's hungry. Where's his parents? Where's his guardian if he doesn't have parents? What the hell is going on? What's with these questions? And how did he could afford to buy a shotgun when he can't afford to buy a meal? He recently bought a 12-gauge shotgun. Well, you know how long it takes to reload a shotgun? I don't think he was going to, take out that many people. There he is right there. Oh, yeah, good going, kid. He looks like he hasn't had a meal, for crying out loud.
Okay, last but not least, Admiral Akbar.
Yeah, they're slipping through the cracks and...
we've got crack now, okay.
Oh, okay, last but not least. Lizzie Warren took an axe and gave Massachusetts 40 whacks. That's right. Hiawatha denies using Native American claim to advance her career. Oh, baloney. She checked the box saying she was Native American so she could get the cushy jobs and entrance to college and grants and everything else, but now she won't take a DNA test. Well, Granny said I got high cheekbones, so that makes me an Injun. Sure it does, Granny.
Hey,
sure.
I'd like to get into a good college.
Yeah.
I don't care, it's the American way.
Yeah. Jump the line, just like the Mexicans.
I mean, really, when you get right down to it, if everyone else is going to lie to get into a good school, why shouldn't I?
Yeah. Well, in her case, just like Hillary, how many guys had to go to Vietnam and lost their deferments because of this woman checking a box? Once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your time watching this stupid show. Hopefully, we'll see you again next week. Inshallah. Bismillah. And until then, wave the flies away from your head, get down on your knees and sniff the butt of the guy in front of you, head east and go, no women in the mosque, no women! And then go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar!
Deus Magnus Est.
Stinky dog.
When will this